Why Japanese cars last 400,000 miles and American cars die at 120,000? The real answer. There are Toyota Camrys from 1997 still running daily routes in Southeast Asia with over 400,000 miles on the original engine. Not rebuilt, not restored, original block, original internals still running. In the same period, the average American-made vehicle from that era was done by 120,000 miles. Transmission failures, engine sludge, electrical gremlins that cost more to fix than the car was worth. This is not a coincidence. This is not luck. And it is not because Japanese drivers take better care of their cars. It is engineering. Deliberate, documented, and directly tied to the business model of every major automotive manufacturer on the planet. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why this gap exists, which specific engineering decisions created, and what it means for every car purchase you make for the rest of your life. Let's start with the business model. Because the engineering follows the money, it always does. The American automotive industry operates on a replacement cycle. The ideal customer from a manufacturer's perspective is someone who buys a new vehicle every 6 to 8 years. That cycle drives new car sales, dealer service revenue, parts sales, and financing income. Every single revenue stream in the American automotive business model depends on that customer coming back. A vehicle that runs reliably for 400,000 miles breaks that cycle completely. A customer who buys a $25,000 car at age 30 and drives it to 400,000 miles is not buying another vehicle until they are 50 or 55. That is 20 years of lost sales, 20 years of lost service revenue, 20 years of lost financing income. Toyota understood this dynamic and made a different choice. Not because Toyota is more ethical, because Toyota entered the American market as an outsider in the 1950s and 1960s with no existing customer base and no dealer network. Their only competitive advantage was a car that would not break down. A car so reliable that an American who bought one would tell every person they knew. Reliability was not a value for Toyota, it was a survival strategy. And it worked so completely that it became embedded in every engineering decision the company has made for 70 years. Now let's talk about the specific engineering differences. Because this is where most discussions stop at the surface level and miss what actually matters. The first difference is manufacturing tolerance. Tolerance in engine manufacturing refers to how precisely the components fit together. The gap between a piston and its cylinder wall, the clearance between a crankshaft journal and its bearing, the fit between valve stems and guides. Tighter tolerances mean less friction, less heat, less wear per mile of operation. They also mean more expensive and more precise manufacturing equipment, more rigorous quality control, and higher rejection rates for components that do not meet specification. Toyota's manufacturing tolerance standards for core engine components have historically been 20 to 30% tighter than the industry average. That difference is invisible when the engine is new. At 50,000 miles, it is still invisible. At 150,000 miles, it starts to show. At 300,000 miles, it is the entire reason one engine is still running and the other is not. The second difference is the Kaizen philosophy. Kaizen is a Japanese manufacturing concept that translates roughly as continuous improvement. In practice, it means that every defect, every warranty claim, every field failure is fed back into the engineering process and addressed in the next production cycle. Not eventually, not in the next model generation, continuously. American automotive engineering in the post-war period operated on a different model. Annual model changes, new features, new styling. The engineering was subordinate to the marketing cycle. If a component failed at 80,000 miles but the warranty expired at 60,000, it was not a priority. It was within the acceptable failure window. Toyota treated the same failure as an engineering problem to be solved. Those two responses to the same data point produce completely different vehicles over a 30-year period. The third difference is the specific engine architectures that resulted from these philosophies. The Toyota 22RE is a 2.4-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder produced from 1985 to 1995. Cast iron block, simple valve train, mechanical fuel injection on later models, no variable valve timing, no turbocharger, no complex emissions equipment integrated into the block. Documented cases of 500,000 miles of continuous operation in commercial fleets across Australia, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. The Honda K-Series engine family produced from 2001 onward, aluminum block with iron cylinder liners, VTEC variable valve timing implemented in a mechanically elegant way that adds almost no additional failure points. Tolerance is so tight that the engine actually improves its compression seal during the first 10,000 miles of break-in. Regularly documented at 300,000 miles with original internals in fleet applications. The Nissan VQ Series V6, used in the 350Z, the Infiniti G35, and the Nissan Frontier, among others. Ward's Automotive named it one of the 10 best engines in the world for 10 consecutive years. The engineering reason is simple. It was designed with service access as a primary requirement, not an afterthought. Every wear component can be reached and replaced without pulling the engine from the vehicle. Compare these to the Ford EcoBoost 1.5 and 1.6-liter engines introduced from 2011 onward, turbocharged 4 cylinders that produce impressive power figures on paper. Known for coolant intrusion into the cylinders, head gasket failures, and catastrophic engine damage at mileages as low as 60,000 miles on some units. The turbocharger adds power and adds a failure point that runs at extreme temperatures and depends on precise oil pressure to survive. The engineering prioritized the performance specification over the longevity requirement. That is not an accident. That is a choice. Now let's talk about the proof that exists in the real world. Because engineering arguments are one thing, fleet data is another. The Toyota Hilux has been the vehicle of choice for commercial operators, aid organizations, and military forces in extreme environments for 40 years. Not because of marketing, because when you are operating in a remote location where a breakdown means people die, you buy the vehicle that does not break down. The Hilux has earned that reputation through documented performance in conditions that destroy everything else. The Japanese taxi industry is the most compelling data set. Tokyo taxi operators run their vehicles to 300,000 to 400,000 kilometers, approximately 185,000 to 250,000 miles, before retiring them. Not because they cannot afford new vehicles, because the economics of running a Toyota Crown or a Toyota Comfort to 400,000 kilometers are dramatically better than replacing it at 150,000 kilometers. The vehicle earns more revenue than it costs over its operational life. American taxi fleets in the same period retired vehicles at 150,000 to 200,000 miles, not because the vehicle was worn out, but because the repair costs exceeded the economic threshold. The vehicle became a liability before it became a mechanical failure. That difference, vehicle retired for economic reasons versus vehicle retired for mechanical failure, is the entire story in one comparison. Here is what this means for you practically. If you are buying a used vehicle right now, the mileage on a Japanese engine is almost irrelevant compared to service history. A 180,000-mile Toyota with documented oil changes is a better purchase than a 90,000-mile American vehicle with unknown service history. The Japanese engine at 180,000 miles is in the middle of its reliable service life. The American engine at 90,000 miles may already be approaching its failure threshold depending on how it was maintained. The specific engines to look for on the used market right now: Toyota 2GR-FEV6, Honda K24, Toyota 1GR-FEV6 in truck applications, Nissan VQ35DE. These are engines with documented longevity across millions of real-world examples, not manufacturer claims, not review site opinions, fleet data and owner-reported mileage across communities of enthusiasts who've been tracking these engines for decades. The engines to avoid: any turbocharged 4-cylinder from a domestic manufacturer produced after 2010, any engine with a dual-clutch transmission integrated into the drivetrain from a domestic manufacturer, any engine where the timing chain runs through an oil passage rather than being externally accessible. These are not opinions. These are patterns documented across millions of service records, warranty claims, and owner reports. The gap between 400,000 miles and 120,000 miles is not a mystery. It is not culture. It is not driving habits. It is engineering philosophy applied consistently over decades of production. Toyota decided in 1950 that reliability was the only competitive advantage they had. Every engineering decision since has flowed from that single commitment. The American automotive industry decided that the replacement cycle was the business model. Every engineering decision flowed from that. You are not buying a car. You are buying the consequence of that decision, made decades before you walked into the dealership. Now, you know which consequence to choose. Drop your current vehicle make, model, and mileage in the comments. I will tell you exactly where you are in its real service life based on the engineering, not the odometer reading. Next video, the 4 Japanese engines currently available on the used market for under $5,000 that will outlast any new vehicle you can buy at any price point today.